everyone. Good noon. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to you. Hi Varun, good afternoon. Yes, I had a good Diwali week. I hope you too also had a lot to celebrate. Yes. Hi, good afternoon. Avinash. Right. So I have a bit of a cold, so my voice will be a little nasal today. So please manage. Please bear with me. Right. And we are going to discuss your 30-day CAT VARC strategy. Uh, and a very important session because see, we are right now literally in the last lap. Yes. And all of you, I think if you saw the India-Pakistan match, then you know what I'm talking about, how the last over can be so crucial. Yes. So we are going to talk about what you need to take care of in these 30 days, in this 1 month, okay, to actually boost your score. Okay, if you are at an 80, you can very comfortably reach at a 90, even 90 plus. If you're already at a 90, you can reach 99 in the last month. It is very much possible, achievable. Okay, so we are going to see how. Okay, all right. Good afternoon, Maitri, Dhyanesh, Prajwal. Okay, so let's talk about your 30-day CAT VARC strategy. And in that, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy, exam strategy. We are going to discuss a day-by-day preparation plan. And lastly, we are going to understand this percentile game, okay? If I'm currently at so-and-so percentile, what does that mean? How can I boost it? All those things we are going to discuss, right? So on this note, let's begin. Yes. So all of you are aware of this, right? I don't need to repeat it for you that this is how your VARC section is most probably going to look like. Just one or two questions here and there at the most. But if I go by the CAT 2021 pattern, then this is how your your VARC section is going to look like. Right. So if you see, that means you will be expected to attempt 4 RC passages in a span of 40 minutes along with 8 VA questions. Some of these have negative marking, some of these do not have negative marking. So your VA section, two question types come with zero negative marking, no negative marking. What is that? These two question types, right? Sorry, just a second. Uh, 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 Wait, something. I'm just changing the color also. Yeah, okay, now it's fine. Yeah. So type in the answer parajumbles and odd sentence parajumbles do not carry any negative marking. Why am I laying emphasis on this? I'll tell you later on. Yes, I have 2 slides that talk about these 2 types of parajumbles. So they are important. Okay, and we are going to discuss them in detail. Okay, so you know your pattern. You know that 2/3 of your paper is going to be RC passages. You also know that 5 questions are not going to carry any negative marking. And I think by now you also know this table by heart. Yes. So a 99 percentile last year was at a 60+%, okay, which is 45 out of 72. And if we expect a paper of a similar difficulty level, then probably this is going to be the case this year as well. So knowing this is very, very important. And I think you also know where you stand right now as per your mocks. So we will see, okay, how you can go from an 80 to 90. Okay, let's take it step by step. So if you are currently at an 80, let's say. So any idea what the cutoffs of various IIMs, the sectional cutoffs last year were? Yes. Good noon, Videep, Disha. Tell me, any idea what the cutoffs, sectional cutoffs last year for various IIMs were? Let me tell you the highest. So IIM Lucknow last year asked for an 85 percentile in each section. This was the highest cutoff, highest sectional cutoff last year, right? So that means at least an 85 percentile is expected from you if you want to go to the top IIMs. Yes. So if you are currently at an 80, you definitely need to up your game. You know that, right? So why not aim for a 90? Why not be comfortable in our with our sectional score so that I don't have to worry about that 1 percentile here or there. So let's aim for a 90 if we are currently at an 80. And that means a +8. Even if you get two questions that you're currently getting wrong, if you get those 2 questions correct, you've scored 8 marks. Yes, currently those 2 questions that you're getting wrong, any 2 questions, if you work on them, okay, and get them correct, you will jump from an 80 to a 90 percentile. So the effort that is required from your end is actually much less compared to the return that you're getting, if you see here. And it's very achievable. Okay, you can aim for getting this +8 over let's say 4 mocks. Okay, so in the next 2 mocks, try that I get one question that I'm currently getting incorrect as correct in VARC. This can come from RC also. This correct, additional correct can come from RC also. This can come from VA also. It depends on you. If you ask me, I would say that okay, aim for one more correct from RC passages. They are essentially 2/3 of your paper, right? So the scope of getting things more correct here is also higher. So aim for one more RC question to be correct. Currently, whatever you are getting incorrect, okay, and over let's say a span of 4 mocks over the next 2 weeks, right? You will see a jump from 80 to 90 percentile. So it is achievable. Yes, absolutely. I just saw your responses. So you're correct, Guru. 85 percentile. Hi, Amrit. Good afternoon. No additional documents are needed, Varun. Just your ID password for downloading the admit card. Okay. Right. So this is about those students who want to clear all the sectional cutoffs, okay, and probably just clearing the sectional cutoff from VRC is their aim. Yes, because it's quite possible that you're good at the other two sections, you're extremely good at them, so you are just aiming for clearing the cutoff when it comes to VRC, and that's absolutely fine. All of us have our own strengths and weaknesses, right? How about those students who are currently at a 90? See, they need to put in even less effort to go from a 90 to a 95. Okay. So you just need an increment of 5 marks. Okay. 5 to 6 marks, and you will go from a 90 to a 95. So set such goals. Okay. Your goals now for the next few weeks should be these. Okay. That this is the amount by which I have to increase my score so that my percentile jumps by 10 percentile, 5 percentile, whatever your aim is. Okay, and as we approach further, no, I will show you how, if you take your mock sincerely in these coming 4 5 weeks, right? How you can jump from a 90 to a 99 percentile. Very achievable. How you can go from an 80 to a 95 percentile. Very achievable. So I'll show you. I'll also give you a method to do that. Yes. So this is just an analysis of CAT 2021. Let us have a look at CAT other cats, right? 2018, 19, 20. So if you see, for a 99 percentile, this is what you require. For a 99 percentile in VARC, you needed to get 62.5% of questions correct. 62.5% marks actually. You needed 62.5% marks last year. This was an increase from the year prior to that. It's from 53.8 to 62.5. That's because the pattern changed in 2020, so it came as a surprise for students, right? And probably it usually happens that whenever the paper pattern changes, the questions are slightly easier, right? However, if you ask me, I found these papers to be of a similar difficulty level. Okay, both were moderate difficulty level papers, both the VRC sections. Okay, and the fact that students secured a 99 percentile at 62.5 marks, 62.5% marks, shows that they improved in terms of their preparation. So you do have to get a high accuracy. If you get a 99 percentile at 62.5%, that means accuracy is very, very crucial. So in the coming days, please focus on your RC accuracy particularly. I'm not saying don't focus on VA, but focus particularly on your RC accuracy because they comprise 48 marks. Okay, and you get a 99 percentile, you got a 99 percentile at a 45 mark, right? So please do focus on your RC accuracy. You don't just need to attempt all the 16 questions, you need to attempt them with a high degree of accuracy, right? So there are some questions related to this that students ask, right? And I'll address those as we come to our step-by-step strategy that, okay, should I go for lower attempts, higher attempts? Should I leave an RC passage? Should I not do that? I'll address that, right? Okay. So, CAT exam, they provide you a rough sheet where you can actually do your calculations. They do provide that along with a pen, pencil. So you don't need not worry about that. Varun is asking 10 questions correct. That depends on your inaccuracy also, Varun. 10 questions anyway mean 3 marks. I mean, even if I get taken a net 10 correct, that's 30 marks. No, that's not 62.5% of the paper. See, you can see it for yourself, no? 30 out of 72 is not 62.5%, right? So this is for a 99 percentile, what I'm talking about. Okay. All right then. So that means I have to focus on accuracy. I have to focus on RC passages. I also have to focus on boosting my percentile. My goals should be geared to my percentile and my score in the next few weeks. Right. So how exactly can I actually reach a 99 percentile? Okay. So fine. I'll focus on going from a 90 to a 99. But what exactly should I do for this? See, because just 1 month is left and all of you have been preparing. It's not like you are new to preparation. So instead of talking about preparation more, I'll talk about the exam strategy more today because I think that's what you need right now. You're honing your mock strategy. So that's why I have a step-by-step approach for your exam strategy that can actually help you to go from a 90 to 99. We'll also talk about preparation, but later on. Okay. So let's go ahead. Aspirant, yes, we will be having a lot of sessions for that also. You need not worry. In fact, we've already had some sessions. So why don't you check out our playlist, our videos? Savitri ma'am has taken a number of sessions for that. Okay, so do check out. So, as I said, a step by step approach. I know that most of you must have decided the order of questions by now, what you will attempt first. But in case you haven't, you need to decide this. Okay, will you go for RCs first? Will you go for VA first? Will you go for a mix and match? You need to have at least this thing in mind. Okay, in the exam you should not be taking this decision. अच्छा अभी आज VA कर लेता हूँ. That haphazard approach does not work. So, it usually takes you 2 to 3 marks. I'm sure many of you must have already decided that you'll, let's say, go for RCs first, or you'll first attempt one or two VA questions. Then, when you feel more comfortable with reading, you will go to longer RCs. So, here there's no cookie cutter solution. Each one of you will have a different approach. For me, I go for RCs first because it somehow takes off a lot of load off my head that I've attempted something big. Okay, so I go for RCs first, but I have students who go for one RC and then some VA questions, then second RC, some VA questions. That works for them. I have some students who go for VA first in the sense that at least 2 to 3 VA questions first so that they get into that groove of reading. Then they go for RCs. So basically, see what works for you. Okay, it will be impacted by your strengths and weaknesses, and it will in turn determine your strengths and weaknesses, right? सो डिसाइड कर लो एंड इसके लिए कोई कुकी कटर सोल्यूशन नहीं है ठीक है दिस इज वेरी इंडिविजुअल थिंग ओके how to increase our accuracy in RC. I have one slide for that, Divya. We'll come to that. Okay. So normal, the frequently asked questions, can we leave one whole RC passage? See whether what you can attempt, what you can leave is determined by what your goal is. Right? So by now you know which sections are your strengths, which sections are your weaknesses. In case, let's say, you are aiming for a 90 percentile from VARC. So if I just go back a little, a 90 percentile you can achieve at a 29. Right? Even for a 95 percentile, you just need a 34 to 35. I'm not saying that this is a very easy score, but then it's relatively easier. And uh, till here, yes, you may leave one RC passage. Okay, if let's say, if your goal is to achieve till a 95 percentile, then you can. However, if you want to maximize your Mega RC score, then I don't recommend leaving one whole RC passage completely. I recommend being selective in the questions of difficult tasks. Something that I always tell you. Yes. So I'm just reminding the things that I always tell you. Okay. Just putting them in one place together for you today. So you have to decide this, what your goal is. And yes, if it is still a 95 percentile, you may leave an RC passage when you may focus on your accuracy in the other passages and the VA section. However, if you aim to score a 99, then yes, you need to have attempted all the passages selectively, but with a high accuracy. Right? I hope this answers it. Okay, can we leave VA completely? Yes. This is also a question that I get, that let me just focus on RC passages. Okay, 4 RCs. Let me completely focus on that. So again, see, depends on your goal. RCs can fetch you maximum 48 marks. Yes, not more than that. So if your goal is a 99 percentile, can you rely just on RCs? No. However, if your goal is a relatively lower percentile, okay, then yes, you can. I would still suggest not to leave VA completely. You can leave some questions of VA in that case, those that you find difficult. So let's say para summary is your weak area and you've practiced it a lot so far, but then things are not working out for you. Para summary में गलत होता ही है, then it carries a negative mark, right? So don't attempt it then. If para summary is always wrong for you, all those three questions, then don't attempt because there's a negative mark. However, the other five questions do not have a negative mark. So my recommendations would be please go through these questions. Focus particularly on the odd sentence out. Okay, you can be selective in the sequence parajumbles. Okay, if out of three questions you feel okay, two are easy, let me just focus on two. You can do that, but don't leave them completely. I would not recommend, right? So five questions, no negative marking. So do give them a shot. Some of these, you may be selective in some of these. Let's say for the one question, you just randomly typed in a sequence. You didn't really make a sincere attempt for this one question. But for the other four, you can. Okay, you should make an effort. Okay. Yes, yes, absolutely, Varun. It is. They are different. They are different. 12 questions with 7 correct. 12 questions, okay. Yes, Shivani, you can absolutely improve your score. Okay. So, you will basically your approach should be two pronged in the sense that you need to increase your attempts. Okay. There's a lot of scope there and increase accuracy. So, now, I know that this is a very broad prescription, but I can give you a specific prescription only if I know what kind of questions you got wrong in the exam, right? Why did you leave the other questions? So, why is it that you could attempt only 12? Was it a conscious decision on your part? Was it because of the speed? So, keep on asking the why of things and see, okay, what was my reason? So, in case it was not a conscious decision for you, it was a matter of speed, then yes, just try to work on your speed this much that, okay, if you left some VA questions, see, VA questions are shorter, right? So, let's say you attempt two to three more VA questions. Okay. Then if it was a matter of now, yes, there is a matter of accuracy here, right? Accuracy is also a concern. So how do I improve my accuracy? Again, you'll have to see what kind of questions did you get wrong. Was it very random? Then it's a lack of practice. If you get just about any question type correct. If it's only the difficult questions that you're getting wrong, okay, the ones that are difficult for everyone, in that case, question selection is a problem. So सी प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है यहाँ पर अभी दो जगह का स्कोप है यू कैन इंक्रीज योर अटेम्प्ट्स आल्सो यू कैन इंक्रीज योर accuracy also and it is very much possible in these 30 days as I told you if you remember the recent India Pakistan match you know how the last two overs can be very crucial. Yes. Okay, selecting which RC to attempt first. Yes, yes, Disha. We just need to invest 30 seconds in that. In 30 seconds, you can make that point. Okay. I'll discuss this in one slide. Okay. Right. So see then, Shivani, that means you need to work on your inferential skills. Yes, so you identified the problem. So now solve more and more RCE passages that are very similar to the CAT pattern. Okay, I'll talk about from where you can solve them, how many you should solve, all of that also. So yes, let's proceed. There's a lot of stuff for you today, a lot of tips, etc. So step two is prioritization of passages. As you just asked, should we invest time in this? I think you should. Okay. Why? I tell you. See, if I just look at, if I don't go back a lot, if I look at just CAT 2021 also, then for some of my students in slot one, their first RC passage was about utopia, dystopia, how the notions of utopia have changed over time. And it was a philosophical passage. It was a moderate read. It was not an easy read also. So in case you begin with such a passage when let's say philosophy is not your strength, you will end up, it's human tendency, you will end up taking more time here than you should. So this results in time wastage and because it's not a comfort area for you, it may also result in low accuracy. So why would I want such an outcome right in the beginning of the paper? So prioritization helps. However, prioritization does not mean that you are analyzing the passages, scanning the questions, then taking out 5-10 minutes and making the decision. उतना in-depth analysis नहीं करना होता है. Okay. Prioritization simply means you read the first couple of sentences, and in these first couple of sentences you realize, okay, whether I'm interested in this or not, does it interest me? So, for instance, this would never be my first RC passage if you ask me. I would rather attempt the one on T trade that was there in your exam. I would have rather gone for that. Then familiarity. So, for instance, see, business and economics interests me. I read about international trade, so I am familiar with this. So this is familiar for me. Now, while I know what utopia and dystopia is, I haven't really read the philosophical history of it, right? So the familiarity is relatively low here as compared to T trade. Language. So as I said that the language was also moderate here. While here also it was easy to moderate only. Okay, it was not completely easy. But when something is of your interest and you are familiar with it, you are still able to manage with relatively moderate language, right? So this is how you do it, and you might say ये तो बहुत सारी चीजें analyze कर रहे हैं. No, reading the first couple of sentences does not take you a lot of time, and in 30 seconds, believe me, you will be able to rank your passages. पहले I'll do this, next I'll do this. Okay, you don't even need to assign these very hard and fast ranks to them. Just decide, okay, this is going to be my first passage. This is going to be my second passage, right? And after your second passage, you can even change it. Let's say you read the third one and you realize it तो ज़्यादा मुश्किल लग रहा है, right? Fourth वाला देखते हैं. So you can do this in the middle of the paper also. You don't have to do this right at the beginning. It's just a rough uh, estimate that you make of the difficulty level of the passage for you. So please invest time in this. I would suggest this. Okay. Now question selection was a problem. All right, all right. I'll discuss this. Choosing and attempting questions. I have a slide on that. So let's discuss that. Uh, yes, from where should we practice RCs? This is a common question. So I think at this stage, tests, a lot of tests, previous year papers. And in case you're already done with a lot of this, those of you who have been preparing for a year, let's say, for 10 months, let's say, and you've taken a lot of mocks, previous year papers are also done. In that case, some of the GMAT official guide RC passages are of a similar level as that. Okay, sometimes a notch higher, sometimes similar. So go for those, right? Now the next question that comes is how often should I practice RC? I have other sections also to do. Probably you're working, some of you, so you feel that, okay, how do I manage time? See, be as consistent as you can. Don't focus just on quantity. So sometimes what students think is, oh, I will sit over the weekend. Okay, on a Saturday, I'll solve 10 RC passages. Trust me, this is not as effective as, let's say, solving one RC passage every day. It's not effective as even this. So the 7 RCs that you do in a week with 1 RC every day are more effective than the 10 RCs that you do while sitting over the weekend. So quality, consistency, these things matter. Be as consistent as you can. And it's just 30 days. So I feel that you can be consistent. You can devote at least that much time. Right? So I'll tell you how many RCs you can practice. I think you should practice at least 2 RCs every day, and you know I'll show you how many RCs can you practice with minimum effort in these 30 days. There's a slide on that as well. Okay, all right. Now Karthik is saying that his score varies between 25 and 45 continuously. Okay, and what should I do to make it consistent? So Karthik, when it varies, so when you go from a 45 to a 25, right? So is it because of RCs? Is it because of VA? Is it mixed? Is it when the paper has more philosophical passages, when the mock has more philosophical passages? Okay, and I need to know how much your percentile is varying. Your score can vary, your score is allowed to vary. It will vary according to the difficulty level of the mock. How much is the percentile varying? That is what matters at the end of the day. For a difficult paper, your score is going to be low. For an easy paper, your score is going to be high. Right? Keep this in mind. So don't be disheartened when your score varies. See how much the percentile is varying. We have to address that. Right? Okay. Coming to some improvement in RCs. Okay, Divya says that sometimes stuck between two options. I'm very sure either. How do I choose the right one? So in how many questions does this happen, Divya? If it's happening in, let's say, 4 RC questions out of 16, then it's fine. You may actually leave those 4 RC questions, right? So if it happens in a lot of questions, then it's a concern. If it happens in 2 to 4 RC questions, then it's not a matter of concern, right? So please see whether the problem, okay, something may be a problem, but see if it is an actual problem, right? So for instance, the score varying may not actually be a problem, okay? Stuck between two close options, if it's for just a few questions, it may not actually be a problem. And so it may not be a problem. And if it is a problem, uh, what is the gravity of that problem? Is it uh, that my score fluctuates from a 95 percentile to 80 percentile? Then yes, definitely this is a problem, right? So what is the gravity of the problem? We need to understand that also. Okay, because in the last few days it happens, students sometimes start underestimating themselves a lot. Sometimes they think कि मेरे साथ ही हो रहा है and it's not happening with others. That's not the case. So focus on the controllables in these 30 days, right? Okay. Uh, so how do we choose and attempt questions? First thing is that of course we focus on the easy questions of all RCs. Now, what kind of questions are easy? Of course, mostly direct questions are easy. Most of the direct questions. But the truth is that in CAT you will not see more than 4 to 5 direct RC questions. The others will be inferential. So in inference questions, you have to go through that question to understand whether it is easy or difficult. You can't judge it without doing the question, right? So when you go through that question, if you're able to eliminate easily, this is easy for you. If you are stuck between two close options, let's say you spend 40-50 seconds and still out of those two options, you're not able to assign a higher probability to either, right? That means this is proving to be a difficult question for you. Okay, so we grapple with it for 40-50 seconds, okay, approximately a minute, but not more than that. Okay, so if I realize this, that okay, I'm just not able to assign a higher probability to either of the two options, and it's been 50 seconds, then I leave it for the time being. I come to this question later on once I've seen all my easy RC questions. That's what I do. Okay, so you can also do this, that okay, after attempting either your entire paper, you can come back to these questions, or after attempting all your RCs, you can come back to these questions, depending on the time that you have. Okay, your aim should be that you are done with RCs in 30 minutes because you need 10 minutes for your VA, right? However, if let's say in VA you have already decided that okay, maybe I'm not going to attempt para summary, then yes, you have a luxury that you can spend some of your VA time here as well, right? So first focus on the easy questions. How do you gauge that? जो easily हो रहा है वो easy है, जिसमें हम stuck feel कर रहे हैं even after 50 seconds, that means it's not very easy for me, right? And in case I found the RC also to be difficult, ठीक है, RC भी difficult लग रहा था, अब ये question भी difficult, अब ये question में भी मैं narrow down नहीं कर पा रही, then I would better leave this question right now. Okay. However, if the RC was pretty easy for me, I understood it completely. Thoda sa then I will fight a little. Okay. If after 40 seconds I'm not able to sign a higher probability, maybe I'll fight for 10-20 more seconds, and then I'll leave that. But I'll not just remain stuck. I'll not take it on my ego कि ये solve करके ही आगे निकलना. Okay. So keep this in mind. And in VA, yes, you have to go through the question. You have VRC, you have to go through the question to actually realize easy है or difficult है. Okay. All right. Now, uh, answer while reading the passage itself. Okay, Divya, this is a good question actually. I would suggest to not do this because see, I understand that some questions they come from a particular section. So probably this question comes from para 2. Okay, but let's say you have just read para 1 and 2, then you see a question which you feel relates to para 2 and you immediately attempt, right? But it's quite possible that part of the information about this question was there in para 4 also. It's just that I feel this is completely based on para 2 because I have read till here only, right? So I would not suggest this. I would suggest attempting the question after reading the whole ask. Okay, because I'll give you an example. I think it's not one only last year. There was this passage on cuttlefish. And some of the questions, for some of the questions, the answers were based on multiple paragraphs, not just one single paragraph, right? So would not suggest this. This actually works for those exams that have more direct questions and sequential questions, like an IIFT, or you may, in case some of you have taken IELTS, you may have seen such questions there, but not for CAT. Okay, please eliminate. Okay, a lot of students, they read option A and they feel, "Acha, ye sahi lag raha hai, mark karo and then let's proceed." They don't even read B, C, D. Please don't do that. These are rookie mistakes. You don't want to make these mistakes. So please keep eliminating, and once you eliminate it, don't just try to confirm, reconfirm it 100 times. That does not solve any purpose. It makes you more miserable and more confused. Nothing else. Okay, so please first eliminate, and once you eliminate something, don't just keep on revisiting it. Okay, and yes, this is something that I've already told you. Do not get stuck. It doesn't serve you, particularly in an exam that gives you 40 minutes for 24 questions. This does not serve you at all. Okay, all right. Now, some of you said that I'm stuck between two close options, yes, and I'm not able to eliminate. That's a major concern that we have at this stage, and I absolutely understand it. Okay, it's a very age-old concern that students have. So, think like the examiner. See, कैसे create करूँगी किसी भी examiner ने incorrect options? Just think like that. So, usually the examiner has to create four options for one question. Yes, and you are telling me this, that I am stuck between two close options. That means you're able to eliminate the other two. Yes. So what are these easily eliminable options? What do they look like? They are usually false as per the passage. That means passage उसका opposite बोल रहा है. Passage ने उसका opposite बोला है. So very easy to eliminate. Yes. It is not mentioned in the passage. The passage does not state it at all. This was beyond the passage. Yes. So these two options, all of you should be able to eliminate. जब पैसेज ने उसका ऑपोजिट बोला या जब वो पैसेज में है ही नहीं. एंड हाउ डू यू रियलाइज दिस दैट द पैसेज इज स्पोकन द ऑपोजिट और दिस इज नॉट देयर इन द पैसेज? Retention. You should be able to retain what you've read. Retention plays an important role here. If you don't even remember what you've read, you will not be able to eliminate even these. Then come the trap options, the two close options. Yes, one of them is a trap option usually. It takes a leap. So it is related. It is related to the passage, yes, but it goes slightly beyond. थोड़ा सा आगे चली जाती है. Yes, that's what it does. So it takes a leap. So it won't appear completely unrelated, but you will feel uncomfortable when reading it and relating it to the RC passage. You'll feel it's a little far-fetched. थोड़ा सा आगे जा रही है. Whenever you feel that ये आगे जा रही है, the passage does not substantiate it. You are right in feeling that. Okay, act on your intuition there. Right? It may be distorted. I change some words from the RC passage and then make an option out of it. Okay, I change some relationships. Let's say the passage says C leads to E and I say A leads to C. Or I make a connection between para 2 and para 4 when my passage did not make any connection between para 2 and para 4. It's saying two separate things there. So please pay particular attention to such options, okay, where you feel the words have been changed and they take on a different meaning altogether, where you feel relationships have been reversed, where you feel the passage did not give any relationships, but my options do give a relationship, a zabardasti ka relationship, right? So such options are where the students are usually confused. Okay, right. So takes a leap, distorted is incomplete. I think these are easy to eliminate. You will make an error here only when you're reading in a hurry. So you read just the first part, or you just read it and you don't realize that it's not completely addressing the question. So इसमें problem तभी होती है when we are in a hurry. Okay, so please read your options carefully, each and every word. Right? Yes, Divya, there can be more than one alien option. Then it's an easy question for you. Right? And the most dangerous option of all, I have shown you this slide actually earlier also, so some of you must be already aware of what I'm talking about. True, but does not address the question. This is a very insidious option. It is true as per the passage. The passage states this, but it's not answering what the examiner asked. उसको answer नहीं कर रही है. वैसे it's stating a true fact. So you have to read your question stem also carefully. खाली options नहीं पढ़नी है ध्यान से. You have to read your question stem also very thoroughly. Understand what it is asking. Particularly because CAT sometimes has these words not, except, does not weaken, does not strengthen. So comprehending the question stem is also equally important. So if you start thinking like the examiner, no, if you start taking care of these trap options, then I think you will land after eliminating, you will land at the option that is closest to the passage and addresses the question. And addresses the question also. That is your answer. And why do you go through elimination? Because we are looking for the appropriate answer, not the ideal answer. हमें eliminate करके best out of the lot choose करना है, not best in general. ठीक है? All right. So I hope this is clear. This bit is clear to you. Now I have some queries here. Just a second. First, should I focus on increasing accuracy and then speed, or can first the focus should be more on accuracy, Shivani. Okay. Then you bring in that speed element. Okay. So initially, let's say in the first week, I would say focus more on accuracy. Go back to the basics, as in inference में क्यों wrong हो रहा है, right? Maybe you are not approaching the question right. So initially, let's say solve one RC or two RCs out of the test, as in apart from the test, without a time constraint, let's say, and then see how much your accuracy is, and accordingly then incorporate the speed element. If my accuracy is just 20-30%, then I cannot think of incorporating the speed element also side by side. I first have to work थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा on accuracy, right? Pragya, the likelihood, yes, science and tech passages, their likelihood is high, and AI is a very it's the buzzword these days. So it is probable in the exam, yes. However, I can't give you a number for the probability. But yes, AI is everywhere these days. Okay. So you'll have to manage your time. That's all I can tell you, right? I don't know the syllabus of CFA, so I can't really guide you there. Okay. Then takes a leap option. Okay. Takes a leap. It means what you are saying is related to the RC. It is related to the RC, but it goes beyond the discussion that has happened in the RC. Beyond the discussion that has happened in the RC. So, for instance, the author talks about the dismal condition of secondary education in our country. Dismal condition of secondary education in our country. But while the author is critical, while the author does highlight some, some really bad things about secondary education, the author does not make a prediction that we are doomed. The author does not say that, we are doomed, or let's say we have a way out only when we work extremely hard on improving secondary education. The author does not make such predictions. Then, in that case, if one of the options states this, that the author is of the opinion that we have a way out only when we work extremely hard towards improving our secondary education, then that is taking a leap. It's not completely unrelated because the author is critical, the author is highly critical. However, author ने कोई prediction नहीं दिया आगे. So it's related but it goes beyond. That is what it means to take a leap. So on right at the beginning you might not be able to gauge this. You might feel अच्छा हाँ इतनी बुराई कर तो रहा है, इतना नेगेटिव है तो सही, right? But उसने exactly वो prediction नहीं दिया. The author has not exactly given that prediction, right? Okay, all right. Now, what are the must attempt question types? Step 4. Or sentence parajumbles. Already stated this. There's no negative marking. You just have to identify the one sentence that does not belong. So there's no need to make a whole sequence, right? You just have to eliminate. No need to arrange the ones that you feel are a part of the paragraph. You just have to find out the one that is not a part of the paragraph. Okay? The odd sentence after. So please give this a shot and do type in something, some number or the other out of 1 to 5 in the box that is given to you. Okay. Do type in something or the other. Maybe you get lucky in case you don't understand the question. Sequence parajumbles or type in the answer parajumbles, which ask you to make a whole sequence. You can attempt them at the end. Okay, some students ask this, can we leave them for the end? Can we attempt them at the end? Yes, you can, because as per the law of probability, the probability of getting them correct is low. However, if you pick up your previous year papers, you will encounter this, that out of the 3 or 4 questions that have been asked in the past, sometimes up to 2 of them have been extremely easy. So don't leave them come. That's what I said. And yes, you can be selective here. If out of 3 questions you feel one to completely easy, I'm very sure about this, then yes, give it your time. Okay. Out of the two, if you feel अच्छा ये तो बहुत lengthy sentences हैं, very lengthy sentences, the topic is also not familiar to me, okay, and the language is also very difficult, maybe you can leave it and just randomly type one sequence and then focus on the second question that you, right? So this is how you have to tackle sequence paradigm. Okay. Continuously scoring between 20-30. What should I do? So one of the students asked this, yes, about we discussed this problem of a low score. Why don't you, if you were not there in the session at that time, I would suggest you to watch that part again. Okay. No, yes, yes, yes. This I think I've stated. Easy language, familiar topic. Those are my go-to parajumble questions. I first attempt those questions. I usually go for an order here, right? मैं उसको prioritize करती हूँ. This is just something that I do. I go for the easy questions first. Okay, you can also do this. All right. So this was your 5-step strategy. You first need to decide the order of your questions, right? Once you've decided the order of your questions, you need to focus on prioritization of RC passages. Once you've done that, you need to choose and attempt the right questions. Okay. Once you've done, once you choose and attempt the right questions, then you come to the VA part. This was about the RCs. In the VA part, you should focus on the odd sentence and type in the answer parajumbles and attempt them as many as you can, right? Keeping the time constant. Now, this is going to be extremely crucial for you since, as I said, we are in the last lab. Yes. So, do very religiously analyze whichever mocks you take. If you're taking 2 per week, then you should take out time to analyze both of them, right? And do this within 1 to 2 days of taking the mock, not later than that, because after that you forget what was your approach, what was going on in your mind because of which you chose A and not B, right? So take it within 1 to 2 days, and it usually takes you more the amount of time that you took for the mock. So for a 40-minute VRC section, sometimes students end up taking 1 hour, sometimes more than that in their analysis. उसमें ज़्यादा time लगता है. So what exactly is your task going to be when you analyze your mocks? Resolve the wrong questions. I'm sure you are already doing this. Don't straight away look at the answer. That okay, this was the answer for this. Don't do that. If you've not attempted some question in the exam, then you should solve it right now. Don't straight away look at its answer. So I hope already you are doing this. Yes, if I'm not wrong. Yes. NMAT official guide, no, Varun, it's of a similar level. They're not more difficult. Not more difficult. Okay. Yes, Shivani. So this is a psychological barrier that if I increase my speed, my accuracy will be compromised. No, a lot of times it's because we think that this will happen. It's because we are already discouraged right in the beginning that it happens. Otherwise, you see this, that effective readers are those readers who read speedily and also have a high degree of comprehension. So when they are able to achieve both, that means we can also achieve both. That means the two are not, they don't have an inverse correlation, as we say in statistics, right? So it is possible to increase both your accuracy and speed. That is what this exam is testing, right? That is what any management entrance exam tests from you. Okay. Continuous mock test. So हम नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है that every day you take a mock test without analyzing it, then it will make you better at attempting questions that will make you score better. That does not. There has to be a strategy for this also, right? So you should space it properly. I have a slide. Let me show you that. So first, let me just complete the discussion on mock analysis. Then when I give you a preparation plan, I'll tell you about how many mocks you should take and what should be your approach. and we are already talking about analysis, so you have to actually incorporate the learnings of the analysis in your subsequent mocks. Just taking the mocks haphazardly without learning anything from them, that will not. Taking mocks definitely helps. Okay, so when I analyze my mocks, this is what I focus on. मेरा easy वाला incorrect कैसे हो गया? This is something that's not acceptable to me. This is a cardinal sin. Okay, something that was easy and I got it incorrect. This is something that I then work on religiously. Okay, something that I did not attempt, but it was easy. Why did I leave it in the exam? What was going on in my mind? Did I not understand the question? Was the comprehension of the RC low that I left this? Was it because of time? I just did not have enough time that I could reach this question. So I ask the why, I resolve it, and then I address the why, whatever the cause comes out to be. Right? Time management is another aspect. See, accuracy along with speed. Yes, that's what we are discussing, isn't it? Correct, but took me more time. So it's not that if you get an easy question correct, you should definitely pat your back. How much time did you take for it? Did you take a lot of time? Then you need not pat your back for it. You compromised on your time for the other question. Okay, so this is something again that my focus is on, that if I took a lot of time to get a question right, why did that happen? Okay, was it my ego that actually stopped me from going to the next question? Okay, what was the case? I analyzed that. Incorrect and took me more time. ये तो मतलब this is the worst scenario. This is the worst actually. I took a lot of time and then also I got it incorrect. I particularly see this. Was this question difficult? Then I should definitely not have attempted it. Then I try that in my subsequent mocks, I do not touch such questions. Right? So these are your focus areas in the mock. This is how you should analyze your mocks. Students sometimes just resolve and solve the questions and they feel ho gaya mock analysis. No, you have to act on it also. Right? So, star mark or basically write down the questions where you attempted, let's say, silly errors or where you could have got them correct, or your basically areas that you particularly intend to improve on, let's say, inference questions. Then, in case you got them wrong because of a very minor error that you can correct in the future, then star mark such questions or record such questions. That's what I mean. Keep a drill down analysis involves asking the why. Keep on asking the why behind getting something incorrect, leaving something, taking more time on something until you get an answer, and then you can address it. Trust me. It's only you who can address it in fact. No one else can do it for you. Particularly in VARC, that is the case. Incorporate the learnings in the next mock. इतना effort का कोई point नहीं है in case you do not actually implement it in your next mock. And yes, so how can you reach from an 80 to a 95? Yes, this is what I told you. I'll discuss with you. How can you do that? Just this one simple thing. One more VRC question correct per 2 marks. So see this. If you're currently at an 80 and you want to reach a 95, that's 14 marks. Let's say you end up taking 8 marks in this 1 month. Yes, 8 marks in this 1 month. Per 2 marks, if you get one more question correct, something that you were getting incorrect earlier. So what is this? This will give you 16 marks. It will give you 16 marks. That's more than what you need to reach from an 80 to a 95. Of course, this improvement will be incremental. In the first mock, you'll go from, let's say, 80, you'll go from a 21 to a 25 first. Then you'll go from 25 to a 29. So, पहले 80 से 90 पर जाओगे in, let's say, 1 week or 2 weeks, depending on the frequency of your mocks. Then you will go from an 90 to 95. So, it will be incremental, but see, even for a 90 to 99, what is the gap? It's 16 marks only. 16 marks का gap है from a 90 to 99. So per 2 marks, not even per mark, just aim for one more VRC correct that you're getting incorrect right now. इतना सा effort करना है for the next 30 days. Okay. So, yes, Varun, for IFT exams, we will have sessions. For SNAP also, we'll have sessions. You need not worry about your non-CAT exams. We've got you covered there as well. Right? So I hope this makes sense to you. अगर आप per 2 marks भी एक question और correct कर लें जो अभी आपका wrong हो रहा है, You will get there. From an 80 to 95, achievable. From a 90 to 99, very achievable. Right? So, what does your preparation look like? I've taken 2 days of October and, of course, November till the CAT exam. So, if let's say you take your mocks on Sundays and Thursdays, right? Just giving you a plan. You can, of course, your days can vary. Then that means you'll have taken at least 8 mocks if you take them twice a week. Some students prefer thrice a week, but nobody should take it more than thrice a week. That's my recommendation. Thrice से ज़्यादा किसी को नहीं करना चाहिए because you need time to analyze that mock also. So that is 8 mocks, and that means that in these 8 mocks you will tackle 32 RCs. On the remaining days, right from today, you have 18 days, 18 other days, right from today. If you attempt 2 RCs every day, which is my recommendation for you, be consistent. 36 RCs there. And if you take sectionals also, so for instance, we offer you 5 sectional tests. That's 20 RCs. Total, you would have attempted 88 RCs just by doing this. Just by this. Of course, you may have other sources also from where you practice RCs. This is just the bare minimum that I'm telling you. And even this is enough. See, 88 RCs, exam में आपको इसका 5% attempt करके आना, right? 88 RCs का 5% is also more than 4, isn't it? So, this practice is enough for your next 1 month. Okay, all right then. What about VA? The neglected portion, right? The portion that students give a stepmotherly treatment to. So for VA also, see, if you when you take mocks, you will be exposed to 64 VA questions. On the other days, you can just prepare on the alternate days. So alternate days for 8 VA questions kar lo, right? When you do that, you will have attempted 72 VA questions, para summary, para jumbles, odd sentence out. And in your 5 sectional tests, again you will be exposed to 40 VA questions. ये total कितना हो गया? 176. Again, you will be exposed to less than 5% of this number in the exam. So it's absolutely fine. Okay, 176 questions in the next 30 days. So this is your day by day or monthly preparation plan that you can implement for VARC. For RCs, I've given you 2 RCs every day along with mocks and sectionals, and for your VA, mocks and sectionals of course, and along with that 8 questions every alternate day or 4 questions every day, right? Whatever works for you. Okay, and you can keep the proportions in 3-3-2, 3 para jumbles, 3 para summary, and 2 odd sentences. Right? So I hope this gives you some sense of how you should prepare and what your exam strategy should be, because it's going to be very crucial to hone your mock and exam strategy this month. Right? But this is what this month is about. And please analyze your mocks very, very seriously. Yes. And thank you, Karthik. Students ask for a formula. Yeah, एक formula मिल जाए बस जिससे score increase हो जाए. That's what we all want in life. While I can't give you any magic bullets, if you prepare consistently, okay, from what I've just given you a monthly plan, if you strategize right in the context of how many marks you need to score, what percentile you're aiming for, it will definitely boost your VRC score. Okay, I assure you that. Just be consistent. We do have it, Disha. I think Sanal sir will be taking a session, okay, and he'll talk to you about the other sections also and give you a very well-rounded strategy for the coming month. Okay. All right. So all the best to all of you from my end. And of course, I'll keep meeting you at 12 every day. Okay, Tuesday to Saturdays when we meet 12 p.m. over our YouTube channel. And in case you have any queries, you can always bring them here in the chat box. I'll address as many as I can. Okay. We also have an all India open mock coming for you. So of course you should take it. It's a mock that is open for all, even if you're not enrolled, right? And you get so much actually. Mock attempt by expert faculty. I think you can't get more than this. Yes, so do register and think of it as an appointment with yourself, right? So you can actually take it on just a second. Sorry. Uh, you can consider taking it on 31st. Yes. No, 30th is a Sunday, na? Consider taking it on 30th. Yeah, that will be your first mock in the ones that you plan to take in the coming month. This is the CAT 23 comprehensive program. So if any of your friends are preparing for 23, you can ask them to join, right? You get a lot of stuff, a lot of study material, a lot of expert guidance and preparation even for the stage 2, right? So it doesn't get better than this. And we also have our mock series, which provides you 70 plus mocks. So a lot of you seem to be worried about ZAT, SNAP, IIFT. We have a lot of mocks for these non-CAT tests. So you can consider buying it. And yes, the last lap to CAT 22 is already on. So please watch it at 7 p.m. every day. These are 20 highly focused sessions. And yes, I will have a session in this on eliminating options, something that seems to be a concern for you. We will talk about eliminating options in detail there for VRs, right? So yes, you can stay connected with us on our various social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and yes, this is our channel for students to interact with each other, ask their queries, share materials, etc. Okay. All right, then. You're always welcome. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.